Mom was a quiet, reserved woman. Freelance a little bit here. She was a beautiful person, fiercely loyal, caring, nurturing, with a personality that allowed her to get along with anyone from any walk of life, and made new friends easily and often. Possessing a wicked sense of humor that could be even the most stoic amongst us to belly laugh. Her laugh was memorable and contagious. While life did not get off to an easy start for her, it contained some unexpected twists and devastating losses along the way. She did not look back on her story. From her early days on Piedmont Street to an impressive home on Indian Lake and a cottage in Dennisport, close, almost sacred relationships with so many friends and family members, 9 children and 13 grandchildren she loved, who loved her deeply. In a marriage lasting over 50 years, it would be difficult to argue that her life ended up being anything other than a glorious success. My parents met at a party in Worcester in the early 70s, a party Jackie Moe had to leave early because he was to be the lector at church the next morning. When he called her the next day to ask her out, she was sure to let him know that she did not find him all that impressive. But she was impressed that he had a steady job at Holy Cross, so she reluctantly agreed. A decision that when we look back on it, would be the best of her life, and led us all to be here today. That may have been the first time, but certainly not the last, that a Holy Cross connection has come through for our family. After some time bouncing around a few places with a young child, she was alerted that a home had become available after her divorce. That home at 225 June Street would be hers, and would welcome 5 more children. A few years after that purchase in 1983, another property became available after her divorce. And even though it was an eye-popping $12,000, and she didn't know how they were going to pay for it, it was going to be hers. My mother decided Jackie Moe could grab a second job at the TNG for a year. My father retired from the TNG in 2011. That property on 151 Road in Saltdale Village was hers. It has been and will continue to be such a special place for so many in our family. All thanks to her. Finally, after realizing that while 225 June Street was a wonderful style, our growing family needed more than one bathroom. She began the search for her forever home, calling her real estate agent and brother Jack Bell, who she loved more than just about anything in the world. They began to look for a home that could house her family comfortably. Apparently in 1990, being a real estate agent meant renting apartments to divorced days and cocaine enthusiasts.
Oh, jeez.
But fortune struck again as the builder putting together a new development going bankrupt and needed to unload the property quickly to get some cash. And 1 North Pond Road would again be hers. A place her family would welcome 3 more children and be a place so many of us here today have so many incredible memories from. Many people would often discuss her acumen for acquiring real estate, but remembering how she acquired these properties over the last week through divorce and bankruptcy, it is hard not to wonder if she was instead a predator property. Whether you knew her as Kate, Mom, Mrs. Moe, and Ann, knew what you were getting with her. A proud Democrat and political junkie, elections were her playoffs, the presidential election her Super Bowl. She loved dancing and great music. Motown her favorite. We Are Family, her anthem. Costumes and props were staples in her life. Never needed any product to bring them out. She was quick to give advice, whether solicited or not, which more often than not turned out to be correct. Many women here today were advised by her to always keep a clean home, for people will judge you, and always have lipstick on hand ready to apply, to at a minimum make it look like you've had your life together. Looking out at all of you now, and having been in many of your homes, I can confidently say that that advice has mostly gone unheeded. She loved to laugh and give it as well as she could take it. While she was aware of harmful effects, she loved a good cigarette. She looked forward to nights out with so many different groups of people she was so close with. And like James Bond with the martini, she was synonymous with her drink of choice, the White Russian. The amount of calls and texts I received after her passing from people saying they were going to have the White Russian in her honor was quite frankly a little concerning. So many of us here tell so many stories of a night out with her, as we have been doing and will continue to do for years to come. Those nights were always filled with laughter and enjoyment, and oftentimes went much further than originally intended. Let's do one more was her rallying cry. Let's do one more, as many of us now know. It could mean 3, it could mean 10. She might have been basing it on the metric system. Not positive. People have been sharing so many wonderful and hysterical stories, and I'm sure we will swap thousands more in the future. But I think one story I heard for the first time last week from Jackie really encapsulates her spirit. Even the hospice nurse, while delivering end-of-life medicine to Mom, could not contain her laughter. After a Wednesday night out at Shaboom's, one returned home and began the long journey to the bedroom when Jackie was sleeping. After what I assumed was a perilous stumbling block, she was finally able to make it to the side of the bed. As anyone who has been in that situation can attest to, that last step is often the most difficult. It got the best of her that night. She went to her knees and rested her head on the mattress, waking Jackie Mo in the process. And like a busted high schooler trying to reflect, she hit him with 10 simple, slurred words. Jack, you can't even believe how drunk Kathy Stab is. A man of few words, he responded with an even more efficient 5-word question. Kate, wasn't she your driver? She was in fact her driver. It was a different time. But you can bet your life on it that she was the first one up the next morning. The house was spotless. Outfits were pressed. Lunches were made. Lipstick was applied. Kids were dropped off at school on time. While she always enjoyed having a good time, there would be nothing that would stop her from making sure her family was taken. In her obituary, it was mentioned that her and my father gave new meaning to the phrase opposites attract, a sentiment I couldn't agree more with. Dad is a quiet, honest, kind, non-drinking, non-smoking man of faith with an unmatched work ethic, who never had a bad word to say about anyone. And Mom. Well, she was the opposite. Fortunately for me, my entire life, people have been telling me, you're just like your mom. But two things they shared in common was their willingness to sacrifice so much for their family, for each other, and their love for one another. Both have been on full display the past 2 years. As the Alzheimer's worsened, in one of the all-time great role reversals, Granby became the innocent caretaker. An extremely difficult and taxing endeavor. After decades of being the caretaker for him and his children, it was his turn to take care of her. A role he thrived in. For as long as I can remember, she claimed that she was going from North Bond Road to St. John's. There would be no pit stop in a nursing home. And because of him, that became her reality. As her memories faded, and people and faces became more difficult to remember, there was only one she never forgot. Right up to the very end. If you were at North Pond Road over the last few years, you would no doubt hear her calling out for Jack, and he would immediately check on her to see what she needed. It was a challenging undertaking, and in true Jack fashion, not one complaint was ever heard. Offers of help would be appreciated, but would go unused. This was his job, his responsibility, and he was going to do it like every job he ever had, by putting everything he had into it, and he absolutely crushed it. When he had to spend 5 days in the hospital unexpectedly 2 weeks ago, Chris and I spent most of our time with him, while Josh and his daughters picked up his responsibilities at home. For almost a week, it took 5 supposed to be healthy adults to do the job of one Jackie home. This time, I can promise you, complaints were uttered. And let's be honest, take a look where we are. I'm not sure we can call their care a smash success. This job is now complete. Her wishes granted. Their love, for dedication to each other, a goal we can all only hope to achieve. While she will be greatly missed, and tears have been and will continue to be shed, we have so many unforgettable memories and stories to share about her. She will always be a huge part of our lives. We know she's in a better place now. Her health and memories made whole, reunited with Brian and Matthew. She will now have to patiently wait for her Jack to return to her. But when he does, many, many years from now, you can bet your life on it that the other slice of heaven will be spotless, and her lipstick will be applied. Thank you all.